Okay, this is a continuation on of 11.5, and so you don't need to start a new title page or anything like that. Just continue on with what we had in the last part. So Dr. Elliott is growing cells in a lab dish. She starts with 108 cells on Monday morning, and she removes 20 of these for her experiment. By Tuesday, the remaining cells have multiplied by 1.5. She again removes 20 of them, and this pattern is repeated for each day of the week. Write a recursive formula for the number of cells Dr. Elliott finds each day before removing any, and determine how many cells she will find on Friday morning. Okay, so let's do our pattern here. So this is Monday in the morning. We have 108 cells here. Okay, to figure out what she's going to have left on Tuesday, we have to subtract 108 from, or subtract 20, and then take that answer times 1.5. So 108 times 20 times your answer by 1.5. Oh, I did that wrong. Just a sec here. 108 minus 20, and then times by 1.5. You get 132. Okay, so then what are we going to get for Wednesday morning? That's going to be 132. She takes out 20 again, and times the remainder by 1.5. So minus 20 times it by 1.5. She gets 168. Okay, so then the next day is 168, subtract 20, then times it by 1.5. You get 222 on the beginning of Thursday. And how about Friday then? Subtract 20, times it by 1.5. 303 is how many she has on Friday morning before she removes any. Okay, how do we write a formula for this? Well, first of all, we say what A sub 1 is. Our first amount is 108. Okay, so what did we do? To figure out our next, we took our previous answer minus 20 and we times it by 1.5. Generally, though, when we write out a formula, we're going to put that 1.5 in the front. So what we would say is A sub n plus 1 is 1.5 times our previous, which was A sub n, minus 20. So there would be our recursion formula, and 303 is what we would find on Friday. Okay, the last thing that we need to look at is iterations. They're very similar to recursion, but just a little bit different. So iteration means that we're going to keep plugging this number into the same formula, but we're going to plug in the answer that we get back in. Now, x sub 0 is 5, so the first thing that we're going to put in is 5. So we'd say x sub 1 is 3 times 5 minus 1, or 15 minus 1 is 14. The second iteration is where we plug that answer in, 14 minus 1. So 3 times 14 minus 1 is 41. Now our third iteration is where we plug in 41. 3 times 41 minus 1 is 122. So our first three iterations is 14, 41, and 122. Now notice the difference is I did not include 5. That's not part of it. That is not our first iteration. Our first iteration is our first answer. That's different from back at like one of these problems. Nope, going back further. Like one of these problems. A sub 1, I listed in the answer. Okay, but with iterations, you do not list that first number as an answer. That's x sub 0, not x sub 1. Okay, and that is the end of lesson 11.5, and you can write your questions and your summaries now.